The jailer is the key. Kill him, and you'll be free.
Hi, Kiwi. All right, we are playing a new game, and this game is called Furi, which I guess isn't technically a new game to us. We played this, or I played this, back in grad school. So that was a good 5 or so years ago. Let's not think about that reality. Actually, it's almost 6 years now. But we're gonna start on basic, on the basic difficulty, the recommended difficulty, just because I have not played this game in, like I said, 5 or 6 years. So I'm gonna be super rusty. I don't remember any of the controls. And we'll go from there. For those who aren't familiar with this sort of game, it is a game centered around boss fights. There are multiple floors, each has one boss guardian that will defeat.
You were a weapon, a bringer of death. And now, you're nothing. I will keep on killing you. Again and again. I am your future. An eternity of slow, painful deaths. I hear thunder. Pitter patter. Time to wake up. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here with you. Shake your head. Nod your head. It's time to go. See what they did to you? Pull yourself together. Get out of prison.
I guess that's one way to get out of prison, just face planting on the floor in front of it.
Kill the jailer. Fight for your freedom.
So you'll have to forgive me if the audio quality isn't quite what it usually is in the videos. I am recording from home about 5 hours.
Kill him, and you'll be free.
Or rather, I'm recording from my childhood home. I'm visiting family and doing some work where I'm visiting. So I am not in my typical setup. Everything is kind of MacGyvered to function. And certainly some audio quality, some setup issues are going to be noted. Hopefully not too terrible. But with all that said, again, this is a game that is very boss fight centered. Basically, all it is boss fights and then walking to the next boss fight with some cutscenes in between. If you like Sekiro, you'd probably like this game.
Every step you've taken from that cell, I'll make you regret. You listen to me, and you listen good. You'll never escape.
Very menacing. Oh, so you can see all the different places we'll be fighting through over time. Each has its own kind of...
I swear I'll put you right back in your cell. There's an easy way and a hard way. You choose. Excellent choice.
I feel like no matter what choice we chose, he was still going to punch us in the face, or at least try to, so... Alright, so now I need to remember how to play. So, okay, this is the attack button. Okay, so it shows me I can shoot with this. Okay. And then, okay, that's dash. That's parry. Okay, X and Y are both attack buttons. Good to know. Oh. Okay, so it wants us to shoot for now. And then if I hold bumper or trigger... Okay, only the right bumper or trigger will charge my shot, and it does make it look like it does more damage. Good to know. Okay. We've also established that my shots destroy his projectiles, which is good to know. Our shots do a fair bit of damage, too. Okay, so this is one thing I do remember. When you get their HP to 0, it's not over. You have to beat them in this little close area 1v1. If I recall, there was a way to... Yep, okay, if you hold right stick here, you charge up and do more damage. Good to know. Okay. So basically, anytime you knock them down, you want to charge up your damage. And then the bosses... The bosses... Oh, the bosses do telegraph their attacks pretty well in terms of what you can parry, because they give you a... There's a common sound effect and an effect that plays that white flash on their weapon. Okay, yeah, so they're trying to show me to use a charge shot here because he's guarding my regular projectile. See, he's not taking damage here, but if you charge it up, he gets shot. Here they're showing you that he will retaliate if you use your basic attack, but if you use your charged attack, which I forgot, So I believe if you use your charge attack in these like close range segments of the fight, you'll always stagger the boss, and staggers do like this fancy cutscene combo that does a lot more damage than your standard combo, potentially. And it just looks fancy too. Arguably, the most important thing to recognize here is that the way this game works is... Oh, okay, so green orbs drop HP drop HP. I remember that now. The most important thing to remember about this game and how it works is the fact that when you either lose a full HP bar or your boss loses a full HP bar, you heal or they heal. Basically, if you look at our HP bars, there are little squares underneath. Those are effectively phases.
But it's time to get serious.
Or, well, not... hold on. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Those shocks in the cell.
Alright, doesn't look like I can actually hurt him here, but I'll just zap him for a little bit. Okay. So when they glow orange, they're invulnerable to damage. Also very valuable to know. But basically, the important thing to know is, so we effectively have 3 lives per fight. But if I kill a phase on a boss, I get an extra life. So even if I die once, the fight doesn't end. And if I am able to beat a phase, I have just as many chances to win as I did before. For the bosses, on the other hand, if they kill me, they do heal their current active HP bar to full. So we do have to be cognizant of that. The other thing worth noting is there aren't really great ways to heal through most fights, but if you parry with correct timing, and then if they shoot any green projectiles, you can heal off of those. But you have to break them with your gun.
You're gonna run back to your cell and beg me to look you up again.
But beyond that, honestly, combat is pretty solid. There are sometimes QTEs, but they're pretty much all just shake your controller really hard, or your control sticks really hard. And then that's really all it boils down to. Some tight-knit, well-scripted boss fights with a bit more walking in between than I remember caring for, but we can deal with it. And for the first boss, this guy's a really good tutorial boss because he does teach all the core mechanics that you need to be aware of, except for maybe the charge dash, which I had forgotten existed until I accidentally used it, but your dash has a limited range. And the charge dash makes you travel further, when you, which would make sense. But if you watch our HP bar, when I beat him here, because I'm confident I will beat him here, you'll see that I heal to full. Conversely, if he knocked me to 0, I would get healed, or he would get healed to full. It doesn't regenerate any... Unlike for us, it does not regenerate his little square life bars, only ours if we beat a phase.
You're gonna take some putting back together when I'm done with you.
I don't remember him giving us so many healings, but I guess that makes sense since he is the first boss of the game. I'm gonna charge this up and see what happens. Nope, okay. Not fast enough.
I'm gonna smash you to pieces. No regen.
Maybe they just want me to shoot at him since he's kind of holding still for us. But he blocks all of our melee attacks.
I will take you down.
Me first. But that's kind of the bulk of it. I would say if you like games in the vein of Sekiro, which is very parry focused in its sword combat, you'll likely enjoy this game. So see, he healed to full because I died there. All right, well, I'm just figuring out how to beat this. The thing about these boss fights is, in a lot of ways, they are kind of an active time trial to figure out the most effective way to beat them. And each phase, especially as you get to later bosses, does have a fair bit of variance. Like, it builds on previous mechanics, but it is always getting progressively more difficult. Well, not always. But there's very often something different, is, I guess, the core of it. I can't believe I still got hit by that. Seem to be having trouble with dodging this, but...
Come back here. I will take you down.
Your basic attacks also have a little bit of tracking on them, but it's not... Whoa, he reflected that. Wow. Alright, cool. He's gonna give us some health if I can shoot his healings. Cool. We healed 3 bars off of that, so we're fine. If you charge up your shot, it does destroy multiple projectiles as well. It's a lot easier when you're being spoon-fed health by the boss, though. There we go. Yeah, because they telegraph their parries, it's pretty reliable to avoid. Another thing worth mentioning is if you wait to use your attacks when they're doing combos, sometimes you'll... Pardon me. Sometimes you will be offered more damage than if you just hit them immediately as soon as you have the option to do so. So, like, if I attack here, he's not going to let me... Oh, he did let me use my full combo. Never mind. What do I know? For some bosses, I'm pretty sure that's the way it is.
There is no way you can defeat me.
And then the last thing to note is every boss at the end of on their last HP bar tends to have some sort of desperation move. Sometimes they have a desperation move in the middle of their patterns as well. But basically, the strategy here is to shoot through these destroyable bullets and then dash through the indestructible waves. And generally, the way these desperation phases work is you're basically trying to time out the boss. They'll eventually finish their move, and then they'll be vulnerable, and they die usually pretty darn quickly if you make it through that phase. And it looks like that should be it. So let's go and DPS. And there we go. There's usually still one final 1v1, but not always. Not always, if I recall. So I'm going to charge up my charge slash here, and then when... Oh, he blocked it. Huh. Oh, right. So he's orange, so I can't actually hit him right now. I have to wait for him to finish all this. This feels like just kind of one last reminder of how all his mechanics work. Or how all the game's mechanics work. Dashing, slashing, and shooting. And there we go. That's the first boss defeated. I like that we have a glowy belly button that looks like a keyhole. I don't know why I like that, but it amuses me. Time for some melodrama.
You will be broken. You will go back to yourself.
I refuse.
Bravo! Excellent! What a thrill! Not your first time, right? Anyway, the good news, we're one step closer to freedom. The bad news, there's more out there waiting for us.
I feel like the spacing between those lines was a little
But don't
off.
worry, I know them. I can help. Believe me, what's waiting at the end of all this is so worth the trouble. You and me, we're in the same boat now. Now let's get the hell out of here.
Okay. So, this is what happens after every fight. You
Way
have...
down there lies a free world. A world of peace and light, where you're free as the wind. And you know what? We're going to get there.
We have a little walking segment where we get to see kind of the environmental design while the rabbit hat dude talks to us. These sometimes do stretch on a little bit. This one in particular, if I recall, is pretty darn long. So we'll listen to the dialogue and I'll talk as I go.
On the way. But don't expect all the answers. It's all about what a man does.
I do wish there was a way to skip this. Maybe there is if I play a certain, like a different mode. But we're here for the story as much as the gameplay in most cases on this channel, so why change the formula now?
That, my friend, is a prison. A prison within a prison. A very clever trick.
So I guess intermittently I'll just chime in and talk about what's going on at home. So I'm visiting my mom and dad and our other dog, and our dog, and of course my sister. Shouldn't forget my sister.
And the prisoner have a lot in common. She turned up one day, destroyed everything in her wake, and then bam! She got caged.
And our other dog, Serenity, recently passed. Honestly, it was a situation where I was kind of ready for that to happen. I had said my goodbyes since I live so far away from home. I had come to terms with her being old and probably on her last legs for a while. Honestly, I think my parents kept her going a little bit too long. She was suffering by the end, but
They had to build all these layers so she couldn't get out. And you couldn't hear her scream.
I don't think a talk about humane euthanasia is necessary in the first episode of Furi, so we'll move on to another topic. She's resting in peace now. My parents did make a very nice gravestone for her out in the back, so it's nice. I'll miss her, but I'm dealing with it pretty well, all things considered. I think my dad is having the hardest time, honestly.
She tried to tear through those walls so many times. But they just kept growing back around her. It drove her completely insane. Enraged. She would hunt anything and rip it to pieces. Now that's some jailer, right?
At the very least, these walking segments do give you a pretty cool...
We know that being locked up fucks you up inside. We know that so well, don't we?
The environmental design in this game is pretty darn solid.
That's why we did what we did. That's why we're getting out.
Like, this place looks really cool.
That's why our story doesn't end like hers.
Although it does vaguely remind me of an area from Alien Isolation, which Kiwi may have requested as a Halloween special. I am making no promises on that. I will squeal like a sad little child if I play that game again, so I don't know if I'm going to commit myself to that. Maybe a one-off just for her amusement, but gosh, I have some funny memories associated with that game, particularly when I'm hiding in a locker from the alien and our dumb cat Chroma just falls off of a shelf from above me, lands right on my head, flips out and goes springing off of me, and she jump scared the ever-living... Oh my god, I got lightheaded from how, like, severely stressed I was by that. And of course I died in the game because I, like, failed to hide from the alien in the locker properly afterwards. Which is, for Kiwi, it was a very funny event. For me, it was extremely stressful and upsetting, but such is life. So here is our next boss. Her design is, something. But, we'll see how this goes, I guess. Huh. I think that just showed us something interesting. There's a little square on the ground, and it disappeared when she attacked it. There's one over here. What does this do? Oh, it brings her over. Interesting. So I wonder if that's like a speedrun strat to just get her to use a pattern that's predictable. Yeah, she comes right over and aims at the square. It disappears once I leave it, though, so... That's good to know. We'll save that for maybe a section where she's kind of not doing what we want. Because if I recall, this boss has a bad habit of running away. Ugh, pardon me, I'm sorry I'm so sneezy. My allergies have been brutal lately. I'll try and edit those out in post so that you don't have to hear them. But, alright, that's first phase done. Surprised that didn't hit us, or didn't hit her, rather. It does seem to be a little tricky to shoot at her from a distance. I wonder if I go back to the middle of the stage, can I kite her with these squares again? No, there is one here. Okay, so... Doesn't look like they respawn, though, so maybe it's worth saving them for a more predictable setting in the future. Or for a situation where I know I really need them. Assuming we don't beat her fair and square in this standard boss fight. I want to see if there's anything else. So it's worth paying attention to the environment. Oh, what's that? What's this? Apparently that makes her angry. What is this, though? So it's not there anymore, but weird. Alright, so it looks like there are environmental things to, like, bring her closer. Good to know. I've never noticed those before. I think this is one right here. What does this do? Yep, summons her. Okay. So, maybe that's actually the trick for beating her, is to kind of kite her towards yourself. Simple enough. And always remember to charge up your attack prior to... when they get knocked down, it's always a good idea to charge up. Or if they give you a free chance to hit them like this, also worth it. I think you can partial charge to get at least a slight increase in damage, both for your attacks and for that, like, power-up effect. Alright, she's got her hands now, and she's going to use a scythe. Okay. That seems necessary. Generally, when these enemies have when these bosses have combos, they don't knock you down and stagger you until the last hit. So you can pretty reliably parry their entire combo. Or if you mistime one parry, you should still be able to time the rest. As long as, again, it's not the last hit of the combo. I'll keep an eye out for any more alarms that I can try and kite her over with. I guess that's what I'll call them. Security system pedestals? I don't know. I reflected her attack back at her. I knew I could do that. Alright. Generally, how bosses work is their melee combo is always the same, but it becomes... There becomes more steps to the combo the longer the fight goes on. See? So it went from a 3-hit or a 2-hit combo to a 4-hit now. Ugh, that laser's annoying to deal with. And generally, once their combo count increases, you should always be ready to block all 4 hits. But that doesn't always mean they will use all 4 hits. I'm generally not a fan of bosses that run away from me. You've heard me call them time waster bosses before. But I don't know, like, it's so fast. This game is inherently so fast-paced, I don't think that's usually an issue, honestly. And you're offered a ranged attack, so even when they do run away, you're still pretty easily rewarded for playing well with your shots. Like, see here, I can knock her out from a distance, so even though she was running away, there really wasn't any consequence to it. Okay, we knocked her down, so charge up. I could have dodged that. Don't know why I was so slow to dodge there. I saw her turning her head to the left, so I probably could have avoided that, but I didn't. But there we go. That's another phase. We're fully healed, and she's got 2 HP. She's got 2 lives left. So 1 standard phase and 1 desperation phase, we'll call it. What an interesting design for a boss. So I think this is the part where we're kind of playing hide and seek with her. Can I use this to call her over? Doesn't seem like it. I'll try one more. Nope, it didn't respawn. Maybe? Maybe if I just stay here, maybe she'll come to it. Nope, doesn't seem it. Alright. So where is she? Oh, there she is. Oh, she did go to it, maybe. So whenever you get a cutscene, I just expect I need to rattle my, my control sticks, so I'm just gonna do that. Alright, and now let's fight her legit. And call her... So yes, okay, so it's good to know that we've established that there are things in the environment that will kite her over, because that makes dealing with her annoying gimmick of running away a lot much easier. Let's see if I can kite her over this way. Ooh, fancy. So I charged up my attack there. They give you a pretty well telegraphed warning when they're going to do these kind of like circular AoE shockwaves. Interesting. She's using her little headlamp as a melee attack. So see, it has like that slow electric ring around her. That's how you know she's going to do some sort of AoE on the ground. I think we should be able to finish her here. And there we go. So what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to be mad? Oh, okay. Oh, goodness. Okay, you made your point. Not sure what I was supposed to do there, honestly. That was definitely one of those anime meme moments where a person teleports behind you and beats you up. Okay, so now we're on to her desperation phase. Oh, that's interesting. I think she tried to escape and got zapped for it. Oh, no, how nice of her. She's going to drop healing items as well. That one pillar in front of her is kind of annoying. So, okay, we took it down. So now we just focus on evading. This game does sometimes fall into the realm of bullet hell. She's not really sending us healing orbs our way, so... Oh, there's one. Perfect. I think I took damage just to get to it, though. Alright, what are you going to do now? Oh, laser. I'm going to charge up the dash, because I'm notoriously bad at dodging lasers in this game, it seems. I don't know why, but like the lasers and the plasma waves on the ground, I just can't seem to time it quite right. There we go. Easily dealt with, and that should be time for our final 1v1. Don't think I can fully charge up here, so I'm just gonna... She's invulnerable, so we'll just buy time. Okay, she's gonna use a pulse. See, and there we go, and that should be boss. Easy peasy, clean and breezy? I don't know. One little bit of world building that I appreciate is that the Rabbit Hat mentioned that they built walls that keep regenerating whenever she tries to escape or break them. And you see that in this fight. All the walls that she destroyed get regenerated, as well as the ones we break. But it's a nice little bit of like preemptive world building and expectation for the boss fight.
Well done. You put her out of her misery.
I don't quite know. Well, I do know. It's for the ambiance and the...
She crashed through one day, frantically searching for something.
I wonder what.
They couldn't make sense of her. She was so wild. So they put her in a cage. Then you came along and they did even worse. Way worse. It all went so wrong. But we're going to make things right again. Together.
So he says, at least. This is the fastest walking speed you're capable of, as far as I'm aware, despite you being able to canonically move really, really fast. I mean, if you've seen the fights, you know we can travel really fast. But we have to walk, I think mostly just to get, like, it's to enjoy the ambiance, it's the build-up. I guess that's something that you don't appreciate in media, is that having the adrenaline rush of boss fights or the big climactic scenes in media, they exhaust you to a degree, and if it's non-stop, it's non-stop. You not only get desensitized to it,
Feel it? It's like a dream. The breeze, the peace.
but you can get exhausted by it as well.
It's like we could take off and leave this place behind us.
So I guess this does a good job of building
But you know
anticipation.
better. Nothing is what it seems. We're stuck here, and the real world is somewhere else, down there.
If nothing else, it makes you want to fight that boss sooner, but it also gives you a bit of a palate cleanse to not, like, have you exhausted. Granted, I do find 2 or 3 bosses in a row is a pretty solid taste of this game, and a good place for a break. If that isn't a hint that we're building up to the end of the episode. I don't know what else is, but I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get just outside the boss arena and then I'll call it. And that way we can just start the next episode right into a boss fight. But if nothing else, I do think the environmental design in this game is pretty solid. It's really cool. It is a shame you can't really explore and find anything really exciting or interesting beyond just what you see with your eyes. There's nothing to interact with as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong.
The old man coming up. There's more to him than meets the eye. A master of time, so they say. But if he's such a master, if he saw it all coming, why didn't he do something about it? Why didn't he stop it from happening? Or at least warn me? But look where we ended up.
But what is it? We don't quite know yet. I personally know because, like I said, I beat the game a couple years, or oh my god, half a decade ago. Sheesh, let's not think about that. Well, I guess one nice thing to think about that is that means Kiwi and I have been together for half a decade too, so one nice thing, I suppose. One very, very nice thing. But with all that said, Kiwi, we're almost at the boss arena, so I guess I'll do my outro now.
Try to play it cool. Easy for him, he chose to be here. But we are definitely not cool with this. We are getting out of here.
So with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching. And if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you. And I'll see you in the next one for some more boss fighting fury.